Welcome to our channel where we talk about all things relating to educating children to meet life's challenges. My name is Usha.
And I'm Jaya.
And today we're going to be talking about, it's our third in a series on the balanced person, about how to help children develop all four tools of maturity. And just to review what they are: body, feeling, will, and intellect. And a person who actually most people have one or two that they're particularly strong in. A lot of people are balanced completely in all four. That's pretty unusual. But we want to be balanced because if we're overdeveloped in one area and underdeveloped in others, it can lead to such things as what's called the Hamlet Complex. You're too intellectual, you're too thinking, you're always figuring out, and you can't act. Or if you're too overdeveloped in feeling and not developed enough in physical and will and intellect, you can become a hypochondriac. And we need all four tools to succeed in life. So for the physical tool, those people feel like, well, to move is to live. And the feeling people, of course, to feel is to love, to live.
To love is to live.
That's true too.
Yeah.
And for will, to accomplish goals. They love to accomplish. And for intellect, to understand is to live. We also haven't mentioned before in the other two that these also correspond to stages of life, certain years of development. So the first 6 years, the child is primarily learning to get control of their body and learning through the senses. And you know how babies put everything in their mouth, they're learning through the body. And then, all four tools are always there, but we're just saying these are the prime times for learning these things. And then feeling would be 6 through 11. And those are the times that ages that we're most open-hearted. You know how kids almost universally love pets, they love animals, and also most sensitive. So it's a time to protect them from seeing violence and that sort of thing, because then they have to develop hardness in their heart to be able to take it. And you really don't want that. But then around puberty, 12 through 17, will comes on strong. If you've had a teenager, you know what I'm talking about. And so in those years, kids really respond to challenges, to trying to change the world, to helping with recycling, to helping to, if you want to do a letter writing unit, having them write letters to get change in the world, they would respond to. And then, believe it or not, 18 to 24 is intellect. And I thought when I first heard that, well, that's a little late. But since the book Education for Life was published in 1986, there's been a lot more brain research. And that research has shown that the brain is not fully developed until age 24. So I think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So, I just mentioned something that you could do, how you could use will to teach letter writing, having them write letters to change things. Okay, how about in the feeling years? How could you use appealing to the kid's feeling to teach a subject that might not inherently have that much? For example, maybe math. I don't mean math can't be inspiring, of course it can, but for example, I know a teacher that when she taught geometry and area and perimeter, she would start off with telling the kids that she had a pony. They wouldn't know this was a story. And she had a pony named Twinkle, and she described Twinkle and all that. And then, and so we got to have a pasture. We need to fence in a new pasture for Twinkle, and he needs, I don't know what the horse would need, but however many square yards to thrive. So how do we design the pasture? How many feet around it would the fence be to provide this much area? And then as they're figuring it out and they draw it, they can also draw the horse or the pony in the middle of the grass. And, they really respond to that. So using strengths in other areas. Yeah.
Well, I'm just, as you were saying that, I was thinking, see this alphabet that we see up here? That's how our first grade teacher, kindergarten teacher teaches the alphabet, and see how each letter has a specific picture that goes with the whole story.
I think that's a Waldorf thing too.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, and I was thinking when we were teaching letters, just same thing, we would put stuffies, put 4 stuffies, and each stuffy had a letter, A, B, C, and D, whatever it was. And then, they're trying to recognize the beginning sound of so many letters. So then, but when they find it as a cat, they give it to this one stuffy, and then they start, oh, the kitty got one, and the doggy got one, and oh, the bee is winning, whatever.
Oh, that's fun.
It's really fun, and it's
Yeah.
just not learning, but it's also playing.
Yeah.
I was also thinking, I used to work with one girl. She was strong in feeling. What I realized is she's strong in feeling and she needs to develop her body. So one thing we would do is we would walk a short distance, not a long distance. We would park the car and walk to a place she wanted to go, usually a playground or something like that, or where there were friends. But we would sing all the way there, and move. Like we would do this song where you are different animals. So you're really entertained, you're singing, we're doing it together. And by the
person who loved feeling would love doing it together and probably would like songs.
Yeah,
She'd kind of
exactly.
forget she's having to walk.
Yeah. And then and that, by the time we were there, it's like, wow, we're already here. And kind of the same thing with another kid. We would play the pine cone game. And I think this is more Will trying to develop the body. Well, actually done this game with different people, different kids, and they reacted differently. But this one, we would just kick the pine cone all the way on the road, and we had to make sure that, there were rules. The pine cone could not leave the road. So you have to make sure it was on track, and it just kept you focused on the pine cone, whatever, how many distance was in front of you. And same thing, by the time we got there, it's like, we're here, it went by super fast.
So that would be good to help a child develop will, but it'd also be good for a kid who had a lot of will, would just enjoy that.
Yeah.
One time I was tutoring a little boy in reading, and he was super physical, so athletic and coordinated and strong feeling tool of maturity too. And he was not a good reader, and that's why I was tutoring him in 3rd grade. And it's often difficult for children whose preferred tool of maturity is physical in school, because they're required. Schools are changing more and more now. They're realizing kids really need that recess. But you still have to sit in chairs for a long time, and it's very difficult for them. And so what I discovered was that he didn't understand the concept of rhyming words. And I was having trouble getting him to think of them when I would give him a word and what rhymes with cat, But then I had this idea, because he had the strong physical tool. I got a ball, just kind of a small exercise ball, and I bounced it across the hardwood floor to him, and he caught it, and he couldn't bounce it back to me until he said a word that rhymed with the word I just said. This motivated him greatly because he wanted to bounce the ball back, and he conquered words that rhyme very quickly once I started doing that. So that's an example of bringing the body into lessons. So as parents and teachers, but especially teachers, we really need to, as teachers, think about how to incorporate all the tools through the school day, so everybody has a chance to shine, to feel happy in the tool they excel in. And as parents, we need to really look at what we do and what our leisure activities are, and see, well, is that really what my child would prefer? And how can I give this family more balance? So thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if you want to subscribe to our channel, please do so. Leave us any comments that you have, questions. I would be happy to answer or address anything that you're thinking about, wondering. But thank you, goodbye, and
stay awake and ready.
Stay awake and ready, not like me.
To meet life's challenges, joys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.